We turn now to politics and Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders, who is on the campaign trail in San Diego. Senator, thank you very much for getting up so early to join us. I hope you have coffee. So you're out there trying to get delegates, and Hillary Clinton is saying that there is no way she's not going to be the nominee.
Well, I think that Hillary Clinton has not looked at a lot of the national polls out there, which have me doing a lot better than she is against Donald Trump, and that's true in almost all of the state polls as well. I think she may not have noticed that in the last three contests we won and we tied in Kentucky, and that we have an excellent chance to win a majority of the states coming up in the next 2 weeks. 6 states, we think we can win most of them, including California. I think when you have a situation, John, where over 400 superdelegates declared for Hillary Clinton before anyone else was in the race, before the first ballot was cast, before anyone had a sense of how the campaign was going, I think we have a chance to win over some of those superdelegates who see me as the strongest candidate against Trump. And also, I think we can, if we do very, very well, and it's an uphill fight, if we do very well in the next 6 states, we will have a majority of pledged delegates or come very close to that.
Let me ask you about that uphill fight on the question of pledged delegates. We'll leave superdelegates for a moment. Just on the pledged delegates, the way the math works out is that you need to win in those remaining contests by 40%. That's not just a steep hill, that's almost vertical, Senator.
Well, it is a steep hill, but we have won races by more than 40%. California has 475 delegates. I'm here in California. I think there's a very positive response in one of the most progressive states in this country. So, John, this is an uphill fight. We've got 46% of the pledged delegates right now. My hope is to make it to 50%. You know, John, when we began this campaign, we were at 3% in the polls. We were 60 points behind Secretary Clinton. We have come a long way. It's been an uphill fight. We're going to continue to fight till the last ballot is cast.
What's your feeling about the process so far? Do you think it's been fair to you?
Well, this is what I think. I think that the issues that we are raising, the fact that we have to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, that people sense there's something wrong in American society where they're working longer hours for lower wages, and almost all new income and wealth is going to the 1%, where we are the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee paid family or medical leave, health care for all. We're the only major country. I think that what people are sensing is the need for real change in this country, and establishment politics or establishment economics is not doing it. In terms of the process, well, you know, we have taken on the entire Democratic establishment in in every state that we have run in. We have had to take on the entire Democratic leadership, and yet we have now won 20 states, and I think we have a real chance to win a lot more in the next couple of weeks. So, you know, in some states it has been great. People have been absolutely fair. Other states perhaps not so much. In terms of the debates, for example, we're still waiting. Secretary Clinton agreed way back when to do a debate in California in May. We are hoping that the Democratic National Committee will ask her to keep her word and allow that debate to go forward.
One of the things I hear from a lot of your supporters, the people who are part of this movement you've created, is they really think that it's rigged against you, that the system, it's not just that you're fighting the establishment, but that the establishment has essentially bent the rules to defeat you. Do you buy into that idea?
Well, this is what I will say, John. The world that I see going out on the campaign trail, where people are working 2 or 3 hours, where they can't afford to send their children to college, where young people want real change in terms of climate change and a tax on carbon, is such a different world than where the political establishment is. It's like 2 parallel universes. And what we have done, and I'm very proud of it, is bring, I think, millions of people into the political process who formerly were not in it. Right now in California, what I'm reading is that there's a tremendous surge in people registering to vote. So, you know, when you take on the entire political establishment, when you take on the financial establishment, when you take on the media establishment, John, it is very hard in this campaign, and CBS does better than most, I have to tell you, to allow serious discussion about serious issues. which is a handicap to us. You know, if I were insulting somebody, we'd get a lot of attention. But real discussion about why the middle class is disappearing and income and wealth inequality is growing, somehow, you know, for corporate media, not so much interest in that.
Let me ask you about a member of the establishment, the head of the Democratic National Committee, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Your campaign manager suggested she had helped Hillary Clinton in what she'd done. You said you would not leave her in the job if you were to be president.
Right.
There is a lot of anger about the system. Have you now put a kind of a target on Debbie Wasserman Schultz?
No, I've known Debbie for many years. Personally, I like her. Do I think she is the kind of chair that the Democratic Party needs? No, I don't. What we need right now is to revitalize democracy in America, to bring millions of young people and working class people into the system to a significant degree. Frankly, what the Democratic Party is about is people running around to rich people's homes and raising, you know, obscene sums of money from wealthy people. What we need to do is say to working class people, we are on your side. We know that you need the ability to send your kids to college, and you can't afford it right now. We know that in many cases, the income that you're making has gone down. We are prepared to stand up to Wall Street, whose greed has done so much harm to our economy, to corporate America, who will send you a job to China in 5 minutes if they can make $2 more in profits. That's the kind of party we need to be, a vital party of working class people who are hurting, of young people who have a dream that this country can be much more than it is today. Not just the party where we have our folks raising money from wealthy people.
Let me ask you about that pitch to working people. There is some discussion that your supporters might, in a general election, if you don't make the nomination, that they might go over to Donald Trump. What do you make of that argument?
Well, I make the argument that I make is whether it's Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, or Bernie Sanders. If you want votes, you got to talk to the needs of people. That's what democracy is about. And I believe that any candidate, Secretary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, who is prepared to stand up and say, you know what, we have to take on the billionaire class. You know, that it's absurd that almost all income and wealth goes to them. That we need health care for all people as a right, like every other major country does. That we need to make public colleges and universities tuition-free by putting a tax on Wall Street speculation. That we need a carbon tax on the fossil fuel industry because climate change is threatening this whole planet. I think any candidate who comes up with that perspective will excite people and will win the election. Donald Trump is a disaster, in my view, and I will do everything that I can, whether it's the candidate or not, to see that he is defeated.
As of right now, how far will you take your fight?
We're going to the convention. We are going to the convention. At the very least, if we do not end up winning the nomination, we're going to fight to win it. I want to have a platform of the Democratic Party, which is very strong, the strongest ever in representing working people. I want changes in the rules of the Democratic primary process such that we have open primaries where millions of people are not disenfranchised because they are independents. So there's a lot of work to be done whether or not I am the nominee.
All right, Senator Bernie Sanders, we'll see you at the convention. Thanks so much for being with us. And we'll be back in a moment with a tribute to CBS newsman Morley Safer.